How are you today? I know you are all fine because I can see you are all seated, waiting patiently for this interesting lesson. I am Anita Bansa, your English teacher presenter for Basic 1. We are still reading with our non-readers so that gradually we will be able to read anytime we are given something to read. By the end of our lesson, we will be able to read simple sentences as we have been doing and then learn new words from the sentences that we are given. Today, we are going to look at our previous lessons' homework. We were asked to fill in the correct letters in the missing word. So let's see what we did. The first was carpenter, 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 and the missing letter was A. Carpenter, C-A-R-P-E-N-T-E. So we have added our A to get our correct word, carpenter. 2, we had tables, tables, and we added our E, T-A-B-L-E-S, tables. The third one was chairs, chairs, and we added our I, C-H-A-I-R-S, that gives us chairs. Then we have friends, friends, we added E, that was our missing letter, the letter E. So we had F-R-I-E-N-D-S, friends. And the last word was people, people. We added O to get people. And so we have P-E-O-P-L-E. So now we have our correct spelled words. We have carpenter, tables, chairs, friends, and people. Good. Clap for yourselves. You've done very well. Today we are going to talk about Anterior the Trader. Anterior the Trader. Let's look at what we have for anterior. This is anterior. This is anterior. I believe you see this beautiful woman, anterior. Do you all see her? Good. This is anterior. Let's all read. This is anterior. Again, this is anterior. Anterior is a trader. A trader sells things. Anterior is a trader. So you see a lot of things around anterior that she's selling. Anterior is a trader. Anterior is a trader. All of you. Again. Good. Anterior sells in the market. We can see a lot of things around anterior. We see tomatoes, we see carrots, What else do you see? We have onions and a lot of things. Anterior sells in the market. So let's read. Anterior sells in the market. Again. Anterior sells in the market. Very well. She sells tomatoes, onions, and garden eggs. She sells tomatoes, onions, and garden eggs. These are tomatoes. We can see the onions and the garden eggs around Anterior. She sells pepper and salt too. She sells pepper and salt too. Let's look for the pepper. And then salt. She sells pepper and salt too. She sells pepper and salt too. All of you. Again. Okay. Buyers come to buy her things. You can see how neatly Anterior arranges her things at the market. Buyers come to buy her things. Buyers come to buy her things. Buyers come to buy her things. These are the buyers. This lady and this one too. They are coming to buy from Anterior. Anterior says thank you. When they come to buy, Anterior is giving, I can see this is a cabbage. Anterior is giving it to her buyer, and after she tells the buyer thank you. Anterior says thank you. Let's read. Anterior says thank you. So it's good to say thank you anytime, every time someone does something for you. The buyers say thank you. Yes, because they have also got something from Anterior. So they also say thank you. You see this lady here saying thank you, Anterior. Do you all see her? Yes, she's saying thank you. So let's read. The buyers say thank you. The buyers say thank you. Good. Now let's look at what we have read so far about Anterior the Trader. This is Anterior. Anterior is a trader. Trader, all of you. Trader. Again. Again. Trader. This is our first new word. Trader. Anterior sells in the market. Anterior sells in the market. Market, all of you. Market. Again. Good. Market. She sells tomatoes, onions, and garden eggs. She sells tomatoes, onions, and garden eggs. We have tomatoes, all of you. Tomatoes. Again. Onions. Onions. Onions, all of you. And then garden eggs. Garden eggs, all of you. Again. Good. She sells pepper and salt too. She sells pepper and salt too. We have pepper, all of you. Pepper. Again. Good. Pepper. Buyers come to buy her things. Buyers come to buy her things. Aunt Terrier says, "Thank you." Aunt Terrier says, "Thank you." And then the buyers say, "Thank you." All right, let's quickly go over our sentences. Read with me. This is Aunt Terrier. This is Aunt Terrier. Aunt Terrier is a trader. Aunt Terrier is a trader. Aunt Terrier sells in the market. Aunt Terrier sells in the market. She sells tomatoes, onions, and garden eggs. She sells tomatoes, onions, and garden eggs. She sells pepper and salt too. She sells pepper and salt too. Buyers come to buy her things. Buyers come to buy her things. Aunt Terrier says, "Thank you." Aunt Terrier says, "Thank you." And lastly, the buyers say, "Thank you." The buyers say, "Thank you." Okay. Now let's look at the new words that we came across as we were reading. We came across trader, tomatoes, market, onions, garden eggs, and then pepper. Let's go over again. Trader, tomatoes, market, onions, garden eggs, pepper. All right, let's read. Trader, all of you. Trader. Tomatoes. Tomatoes. Market. Market. Onions. Onions. Garden eggs. Garden eggs. All of you. Garden eggs. Again. Good. And then pepper. 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 For the last time, we have trader, tomatoes, market, onions, garden eggs, and then pepper. Trader, tomatoes, market, onions, garden eggs, and pepper. Okay, what word is this? Pepper, good. And then, yes, market. We also have onions. And then, what is this word? Trader. And we have tomatoes. And then lastly, garden eggs. Garden eggs. Okay. Now, I have some few questions for you about ant terrier. Number 1. Ant terrier is a... You remember we talked about ant terrier. Ant terrier is a trader. Ant terrier is a trader. 2. What does ant terrier sell? What does she sell? She sells. Where does she sell? Where does ant terrier sells? She sells at the market. 3. What does ant terrier sell? What does ant terrier sell? Tomatoes, onions, garden eggs, pepper and salt. Tomatoes, onions, garden eggs, pepper and salt. What does ant terrier say to her buyers? What does ant terrier say to her buyers? Ant terrier says, "Thank you." She says thank you to her buyers. What do the buyers say to ant terrier? What do the buyers say to ant terrier? Yes, they also say thank you. All right. Now to our homework. I believe you are ready to do something for me at home after this lesson. You are going to fill in the missing letters in the words that we have talked about. We are putting in the missing letters to make a complete word. We have trader, tomatoes, market, onions, and pepper. You are going to fill in the missing letters to make a good, complete word. Now, you have few minutes to copy these words into your exercise books. I believe we've all finished copying these words. We have trader, tomatoes, market, onions, and pepper. We have come to the end of our lesson today. I believe you enjoyed this lesson about Anterior the Trader. It is very good to say thank you when someone does something for you, like what we read about Anterior and her bias. And so next time we meet, I say bye-bye and be good children.